Basically, what I would like to do is use the hour as best as I can to show you all some insights into generating effective keywords for your project. I'm assuming it's mostly going to be websites for you all, for your small businesses, new entities, new ventures, or for SMEs you're currently working with. So quite often you will find businesses spend no time on keyword research whatsoever, and you'd be surprised the amount of teams that make a lot of assumptions about the best keywords for their business, and to then later on find that some pages were completely useless at generating any traffic and any inquiry, and others were a bit better. But there's such a large range of search inquiries raised for different types of keywords that you really need to understand which ones are most effective, which ones have the most competition, and which are probably the easiest to target. So I'd want to run through with you, show you how to start generating and brainstorming some ideas, how to quickly build that database of keywords and then break them out into what I like to call data sets. And your data sets are basically your keywords that relate to each of your pages. So for this particular business, I've got two examples for you today. One small business, local business, which is Virtual Ashes. This is a business to consumer. And then a national business, which is business to business, which is Compact and Bow. They are both performing brilliantly, but quite different businesses, and have spent different amounts of time developing their site. So what I'd like to show you first of all is just basically where your keywords come into play on your site and how that translates into the search results that come up on Google. So looking at Virtual Ashes homepage as an example, this site, you can immediately see in the what we call the header 1, it is the best eyelash extensions in Portsmouth. So best eyelash extensions, eyelash extensions, this page will rank for both of those keywords. And then as you scroll down, we've got the subheadings: eyelash extensions Portsmouth, classic eyelash extensions, hybrid eyelash extensions. These are all services that are provided. Russian volume eyelash extensions, eyelash infills. So this is a very effective homepage covering all of those keywords. Very straightforward, simple site. But if we look at this page in particular, if you were to go into Google and you were to type in eyelash extensions, you immediately see here we are, Virtual Ashes is number 1 on what we call the Google Map Pack. So this is for predominantly local businesses, and Virtual Ashes is absolutely number 1 in this area. And as you come down as well, they're number 2 in the organic results. And they are typically number 1, but they've been knocked off today. I expect I'll have a look at that in a minute. But yeah, rankings tend to adjust every day of the week. They go up and down all the time. And when you've got a very well-established site, you will tend to sit in one position as the rankings move. New businesses put together websites, people are changing and optimizing their sites. Rankings tend to adjust, as well as when Google updates their search algorithms, rolls out new updates, things do tend to move around. So it's when you're looking at your website and you're looking at your performance, it's all about the trend over time. It's not about where you are today and where you are tomorrow. It's the trend over time. If over the course of 6 months, you'll see your website is performing badly, you will see the trend is downward, and you know that something's gone wrong there somewhere. If overall the trend is positive and there's an incline, you're doing something right, and keep doing what you're doing. But the key thing is to make small incremental changes over time. After you first built your site, give it some time to index. It can take weeks. You can index a page in days, but typically it takes months. But I will show you some quick tips to get your site indexed quickly so that you start moving within the rankings on Google and Bing and other search engines as well. So just to show you, I do have some slides as well. I'm not going to spend too much time on these. Basically, let's start from here. It's very much about knowing your market, and I'm assuming there may be some businesses here that target nationally, maybe internationally, some that are more local. That's quite key, understanding who your customer base is and the geographics, because when it comes to building your site and generating your keywords, are you going to be looking at SEO services UK, national SEO companies, or are you going to be looking for SEO companies in Portsmouth? Those are the two differences straight away. One's a geographical, longer tail keyword. One's, SEO services would generally be picking up sites across the whole of the UK. So fundamentally, you need to know who you're targeting, where you're targeting, to really start generating some great keyword data sets for your site and optimizing your site to be targeting the right locations, the right audience. So I'll give you some prime examples right now. So if you look at virtual lashes, very, very, very strong in the Portsmouth area. I am going to be changing tabs, so apologies if you start to feel a bit seasick as I move between tabs. But if we have a little look here, this is one of my tracking systems. You will see all of the keywords relating. Oh, yes, there we go. Right. So Virtual Ashes is a local salon in the Portsmouth area. You'll see all of these keywords here with the corresponding search volumes. Search volumes are basically, it's an average amount of inquiries raised in the course of a month. So across the UK for eyelash extensions, there's 49,500. Awful lot of opportunity right there. So in the Portsmouth area, because that's what I'm tracking at the moment for Virtual Lashes, because again, they're a local salon targeting the local area, they are number 1 and position number 3 on the map pack. So this little icon here is the pin in the map that you typically see. So best eyelash extensions near me, number 1 in the Google rankings, that would be down here. So they're position number 1 here. And then, where was I? Back here. They're position number 3 in the map pack. So back to the same screen on the map pack, which is here, they'd be down here for that particular keyword. So this business is very successful. Lots of position number 1s, position number 2s, and you can see where the rankings change every day. Down 1, up 1, down, up 2, down 5. So it does float around, does move around quite regularly. So lots of opportunity. Search volumes is what you're really interested in for your business. Low volume keywords are still important, but you predominantly want the larger volume keywords to know what's best optimized for your site. So Virtual Lashes homepage is targeting eyelash extensions, 49,500 searches raised per month. So it's key that you know that difference straight away. Do you want to have your homepage targeting eyelash extension studio? And a lot of websites are going to think, oh, I'll have an eyelash extension studio. Let's put that in my H1 title for my homepage. So let's go back. So the H1 title here, header 1 title would say eyelash extension studio. Bad keyword, because your homepage has the highest authority, will generally pick up the most backlinks and referring domains. You want your homepage, which has the most authority, really bringing in the most traffic. So it's, again, that there's key fundamental example straight away of the difference of having a bad keyword and a good keyword. 49,490 difference in terms of potential visitors to your site every month. Don't get too excited, because typically you're only going to get 1%, 2%, 5%, 10% click-through rate. So that's why you also need to target these other keywords. So looking at another platform here, and I have touched on in the slides that if your Virtual Lashes as a business to consumer is very much their client base are using mobile devices. So this website needs to be very much optimized for mobile phones, because it's got a younger customer base, clientele, typically individuals in their 20s, 30s, 40s. And Compact and Bow is very corporate, it's business to business, talking to procurement managers, engineering managers, production managers. They're generally sat at a desktop PC, and I can evidence that to you as a key example, because if you come into Search Console, and I will run this through with you later, you can come in here, select your property, and you can click on devices, and right away, here we are, virtuallashes.co.uk. Predominantly, most of the search volume is coming from mobile devices, less coming from desktop, and very little coming from tablets. So most people find Virtual Lashes on their mobile phone And in the last 16 months, they've had 1,300 approximately clicks through from Google, and almost 200,000 search impressions, and then a click-through rate of only 1%, which tells me there's a lot of room of improvement to be made on the copy, the titles, that sort of on-site work. And then if you come over to Compactable, you'll see it's the complete opposite. Very corporate, everyone's sat at their desktop computer, 6,180 clicks. Procurement managers, 3,000 on mobile phones, so roughly half, and only 300 approximately on tablet. So that's already telling you where your focus needs to be on your website. You need to make sure it's optimized very well for desktop if you're B2B corporate, but if you're B2C consumer service, etc., then chances are you need to be focusing more on mobile. But again, key not to make too many assumptions. You need to look at the data, do the research, and make sure you get it right, because you don't want to be redeveloping your site later on. So I hope some of that makes sense. I won't cover on-site content too much today, but if you look at the Google results, you'll see for virtual ashes, the title for the site for that particular page is Portsmouth Virtual Ashes eyelash extensions. So again, keyword eyelash extensions is in the title. So that's what we call the meta title. This is the meta description, and then there'll be keywords for that page as well, which I'll run through with you how to identify those from your. So if you're looking on Google at your competitors, you'll be able to inspect the page later on, and I'll show you how to find out what their keywords are. So hopefully that's a little bit of a good introduction as to why it's essential to get the right keywords and know what part of the country, what part of the market you're targeting, and then understand the search volume. Very, very important. Search volume, more important than anything else. You can get indications on the difficulty of certain keywords, which generally tells you how many competitors there are, how many pages are already indexed in Google results to do with a specific keyword. So some are generally easier to rank for, and they tend to be longer tail keywords. So if you're using Compactable as an example, if you were to go with compactors as a short tail keyword, 1 to 2 keywords we'd say short tail, that'd be a lot more difficult to rank for than waste compactors in Kent, because everyone wants the 2,000 search volume waste compactors traffic that's coming. They want those top spots. So waste compactors in Kent, picking a geographical location as an example, would probably have 2, 3, 4, 500 search queries raised a month. So best place to start, and I'm going to just turn my share screen off for a second to look at the chat and see if anyone's got any keywords they'd like me to start developing. If you have, so if you're currently developing your business, your website, and you don't know where to start, maybe you have some ideas already as to what good keywords would be. If you'd like to post those in the chat window, I'm looking at that at the moment, I can take those and show you how I'd develop a keyword strategy from one keyword and try and get to the point of where we've got 100 keywords, 1,000 keywords with varying search volumes, and then how we break that down so that it's can be used effectively on your website. If I don't see any comments in the chat window, then I'll just base it on businesses I'm already working with and show you how I go from having nothing to right, okay, I see a couple of coming in now. Mindfulness training. So just Ellie, just some ideas on, if you're currently developing your business, ideas on your keywords. So if you have a site and you want it to rank, what keywords are you currently making assumptions on that might be good for bringing in traffic to your website? And then I'll show you whether those assumptions are good or bad in terms of the search volume and how we develop one keyword into 100 related keywords. Ginny, I will show you how to find the search volume shortly as I go through the process. So let's have a little look. Mindfulness training, team building, anxiety and trauma. I'll tell you, let's go with team Let's go with team building. Go back to my share screen. Right, so it all starts with Google. You want to do a bit of brainstorming. So you come to Google search, and actually I've jumped to stage here. Sorry, what I'm going to do is open up an Excel sheet. So hopefully you've all got some spreadsheet software. You can do it in Word and other things, but I tend to find Excel's easiest. So I'll just put in here keyword, search volume, difficulty, just simple metrics to start with. Right, so we said, what did I type in brainstorming? Okay, hang on a second.
I think it was team building, wasn't it?
That was, thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, there you go. Team building. Right, so team building, and so you're looking at, I type in here team building activities. What else have we got there? Team building games. And you have to obviously make your own judgment on which of these are relevant, which of these are not relevant. Team building events. Team building skills. So I'm assuming if you're running a team building business, you're running events, then all of these things are going to be relevant. So really, it all depends on how much time you've got. You want to do this as long as you can tolerate, really, and generate as big of a database of initial keywords as you can. So I'll just start with those ones, and then you want to start finding out how popular they are. And a good tool to use to show you the trend, keyword right there, trend is very important, is Google Trends. And you can come onto here, and Jonathan is going to provide you with the links to all of these sites, and you can type in here to see just how popular. Make sure on the top right hand corner you've got the United Kingdom selected. It tends to go straight to United States and other countries. Obviously you want to know how it's performing in the UK. So this is going to show you how popular these search terms are, how often they're searched for, using a different metric to search volume. So we'll go with team building. And this is really great because this shows you information back to 2004. Now the data obviously isn't going to be so relevant back then, because 2004 to 2020 is the internet, and the way things work has very much changed. Everyone's got a smartphone now. So I tend to go back for the past 5 years to show the overall trend. It tends to vary. So this one is quite popular. It's scored out of 100. So in terms of the weekly interest that's shown, you can scroll down, you can see the popularity across the country. And then the great thing here is not only can you see the overall trend, I mean, this trend is pretty standard. You'll see this dip here this year. This is all COVID related. And, you know, to show you a different example, if you used to put eyelash extensions in here, being business to consumer, just look at how, there you go. I mean, that's clearer than anything else. Just looks absolutely dropped off. The search interest has absolutely died during the pandemic because no one could have their eyelash extensions done. So let's go back to team building. So this is fantastic to know if you should be using one of these keywords over time, because if there's a clear decline here, you don't necessarily want to be optimizing your site for that keyword. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a page or a blog post or some sort of content marketing up on your site targeting that keyword, but certainly not your home page or a main landing page if the trend is downward. If the trend is positive and it's upward, then absolutely you want to be using that, because that's shown it's a growth. You can make an assumption it's a growth market. So related queries down the bottom, related topics, you can look for different queries here. So you can look for the rising queries, the ones that are being searched for more and more, and it gives you a percentage as to how much more they're being searched for. So you can see what's most popular. So again, you might want to include these virtual team building activities. So let's put that one on. Obviously that's very popular at the moment with the pandemic. Going to have a lot of escape rooms on here. You can now select this drop down and select the top related queries. There we go. So now you're starting to see what is actually most popular for related queries. So team activities, did we put that one on here? No, we didn't. So let's add that one in. What else have we got here? Team building games. I did that one. Team games. So I would say team building games is a long tail. I'm not typing very well. Team games, I'd say, is short tail. 1 to 2 keywords, short tail, 3 or more, longer tail. Team building ideas. So there we go. Now the next step is going to really throw up a lot of examples for you. So again, key takeaway from Google Trends is the trend. You want to run these keywords through there. So team building activities, let's just add this one in. Let's have a little look here. So this is up and down, but it's generally pretty standard. And then again, you can look at the top, team building games, team building activity ideas. So yeah, so use the related queries to build out longer tail keywords. Look at the overall trend. You can go back, like I say, all the way to 2004 for more data. Oh, actually, before I move off of this tab, what I haven't shown you is you can change the type of web search. So web search is going to be generally organic results, what you're seeing here. And image search, so this is a different pack. So when you come to Google and you go to the top, you've got these options at the top. So images. So this is where people will search and look for images. They can click up and look for something very visual and then click through to the website, to the relevant page. So you can also look at image searches that are related to your keyword. So if we were to change that. Okay, I'm going to refresh the page because my screen suddenly, there we go, got it back. Let's have a little look for waste compactors image search. So no one's really looking for images of waste compactors based on the information that's shown here. But if we were to put in eyelash extensions, you should see a lot more. There we go, right there. So that business to consumer, the clientele, the target market are very visual. They like to have a little look at great examples of eyelash extensions potentially before they buy. That makes sense because a lot of eyelash salons market their businesses on Instagram. In fact, most do, including virtual lashes. So that makes perfect sense. So you want to have a little play with these, and this is going to give you some idea again as to how you optimize your website. Should you spend a lot of time putting more imagery on your site, or perhaps just more great copy and micro copy, text, etc. And then, of course, Google Shopping if you're selling products online. This is a fantastic idea as well. So if we were to look at maybe strip lashes, these are terrible examples probably I'm using. There we go, not so much. But yeah, so you can have a little play with this. This will give you some ideas as to which keywords you should be targeting. So that's got you to a point you started to build out. You've got some short tail keywords, you've got some longer tail keywords. And now we move to Soovle, which I absolutely love, because this, let's just refresh. This platform will allow you and give you examples of keywords from Yahoo, eBay, Bing, YouTube, not just Google. So quick and easy and effective. So again, if we're looking at team building in here, there you go. It's giving you ideas straight away from eBay. So on eBay, people are looking for team building games. On Yahoo, you're going to have other typical search queries. Here, Amazon, again, it's going to be more product based, which it is games for kids, games, books, activities, gifts. What have we got here? YouTube's going to be more visual. Yeah, here we are, team building video. So again, this is a great way to build out longer tail keywords. And then the key takeaway on this page really is the answers over here, because this is going to give you a lot of content marketing for potentially a blog for much longer tail keywords. So team building, how do you narrate team building? What is the difference between team building? So when we were talking about keyword intent, so when you're talking about businesses looking for someone selling team building events, they're going to be looking for team building event companies, team building companies, businesses, etc., etc. That's typically what's going to be searched for in Google. But then you're going to have a lot of these, and that's showing buying intent. Someone's looking for those businesses to make a connection, potentially raise an inquiry. And then in terms of these results that you're seeing here down the left-hand side, they're looking for information, looking for answers. And so you can see the questions here. And if you take some of these away, what are some good activities for team building? Let's have a look for a couple of others. What is good advice when it comes to team building? This is typically topical ideas that you're going to use on your blog, because you're going to be answering questions, and it's going to be bringing in traffic to your site, and potentially, if you're doing a good job answering those queries and building confidence that you're the go-to business for team building, then they'll hopefully convert over to your service page, reach out to you and raise an inquiry. So this is why they're good. It's good to target these from a traffic perspective, because the more traffic you have coming into your website, the more dwell time, you could say dwell time, without having a bounce rate. So if someone comes on your website, bounces and leaves straight away, bad signal for Google. It's not going to help your rankings. If someone comes on your website and spends a lot of time on there looking at what are some good team building activities, and you've covered that topic, and they're on there reading the page for half an hour, then excellent signal to Google. That is absolutely going to help you rank your site, especially if they start moving through to other pages, moving to your service pages, etc., contact page. That's going to help those pages rank better once you've been indexed. So let's get a couple more. Okay, what's some team building games? So here you go. You can spend a lot of time doing this, but the key thing is these tools are free, so you can access them. So you probably want to put a few good hours into this to build your data set up and get as much in there as possible. And you're using your judgment at this point as to what's good and what's not good, and what's relevant. So there are tools that you can use. Moving on to WordStream, there are tools that you can use that make your life significantly easier, and you can put a keyword in and it will give you hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of examples. Digital scientists, we have a tool that does exactly this, although it's not free, unfortunately, but it is accessible by all of our customer base. WordStream is free for the first 30 searches, which is why I like to include them. So let's look at team building, put the keyword in. Don't worry about choosing the industry, select the country. So it's giving you relevant keywords to your location. Click load, and it's going to bring you up loads and loads of information. So here we go, team building activities, search volume 8,100. If you're doing any Google pay-per-click, it gives you the estimated bid. Competition levels are high. Doesn't necessarily mean that you can't rank your website well, especially if you're local and you're targeting a local area. Competition nationally may be high, but locally it might not be high, in which case you can rank quite easily. Search volume on Bing, and the cost per click on Bing, and the competition on Bing. So search volume again. So team building activities, let's take that search volume over. Let's move that along. So we now have that information for that particular keyword. Team building games, 2,900 search volume. So you might want to have your homepage at this point set up for team building, or a page set up for your team building activities, and then a sub page for your team building games, or an alternative page for team building games. You definitely want to use team building activities because they've both got the same level of competition, but this one is what, 369, almost 3 times the search volume. Team building exercises, we go. I did have that one there. That was a good one. So what you can do is email these keywords, and they'll get emailed to you, and then you just put your details in, and it will send you everything that they've picked up, and then it will come over in an Excel sheet. There we go, and then you can just open it up. This is one I did earlier, and then you can just copy all the information over. There you go. It saves you loads of time. So that really helps. And then, like I say, you can have 30 searches, so you might not want to use them all doing the same keywords, but if you've got one in here, what are some good team building activities, team building? Let's put that one in. See what the search. So this is a longer tail, so the search volume should be lower. Okay, it's not giving me the answer. So that tells me it doesn't have a search volume, and it's just showing you the alternatives. So you pull this information off, add this all into your Excel sheet, and you're now starting to generate all of your search volume and then your difficulty levels. So it helps you prioritize which keywords you want to target first. Again, if it's a high difficulty, don't write it off, because at the end of the day, it's very popular. Lots of sites in the index are targeting that keyword because it's got a high search volume. So you want to target that one as well. Don't write it off, because over time, your website will gain authority. It will gain more traffic if you're doing things the right way. And you will start ranking. And certainly if you're targeting locally, which I suspect probably most of you are, then they're going to be good keywords to target. Then actually what I am going to do is send that over just to save some time. There we go. Right, good. So I'm actually going to run off of this information now. So you don't want to skip any of the process. You could go straight to this page and start putting keyword ideas in, but you do want to use all the platforms, especially Soovle. And because it doesn't pick, these tools don't pick up absolutely everything, you do need to use all of them. What you can now do actually is also download Google Chrome. I'm assuming probably most of you have it. You might have Firefox. Some of you may still be using Microsoft Edge or Internet Explorer, hopefully not, being as that's no longer supported, but you should absolutely have Chrome. Now, if you were to go to Google and you're typing in team building, then what you're seeing here is potentially some competitors. There we go, fun corporate team event. So teambuilding.co.uk. So if you're running a team building business, this is a competitor. So what you want to do, you want to come in here and using Google Chrome, which is what I'm using, is right click on the page. And this is, again, this is on the walkthrough that I believe Jonathan's going to share with you. Click inspect, and it's going to bring up the code on the right hand side. You can try and look straight away for the H1 header, but if there's a lot going on the page, it can be a little bit confusing. But what you can do is you can actually highlight elements of the page like this, and it will show you. Or what I tend to do is just press Control and F. Control and F, there we go. Let's bring out this little search box for the strings, type in H1, hit enter, and then there you go. So their header 1 for their page, which allows them to, in part, to get to that position on Google, is team building activities and events. So if you don't have that on your keyword list, you want to add that one in. And then if you were to go back to WordStream, and there is another tool I'm going to show you in a second, which is actually Google itself, Google AdWords, to give you the search volume. Because again, you've only got 30 searches here. Okay, so let's move on then to the keyword planner. So this is Google AdWords. If you're using Google pay-per-click, there's a fantastic tool in here called Keyword Planner. It does allow you to put all your keywords in. It will give you the search volume and difficulty for each. This is particularly relevant if you're running paid campaigns whilst you're waiting for your website to rank. organically, it's a good strategy to follow, because of course when you're paying for advertisements, you're bringing traffic into your site through Google. So this is a great tool to use. So you just, when you come over to the page, click discover new keywords. You will have to have a Google AdWords account, but it takes 10 seconds to register. I typically will just use my same account that I use for Google Search Console and all the other SEO tools I'm going to show you. So team building activities and events, click get results, and that will give you the search volume. So there we are. So that particular string or search phrase long tail is only got 0 to 10 monthly searches. So you're probably going to say that's not particularly a good keyword to have as your header. You might want to actually put team building activities as the H1 and knock this down, the H2, header 2. Where was I on the site when I searched for that? Just want to show you as an example. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's a paid advertisement on that page. So that could be because they're using a longer tail keyword as their main homepage header, and also their headers at the bottom of their page, which isn't particularly great. If this content here, if you've got a header 2 or header 3 above a header 1, it just makes things confusing. Yes, when I'm building a website, I tend to have it very keyword focused to begin with, just to make sure the site is very clean and very basic, if you like, when I get it indexed and try to start ranking it. And then you can start playing with your titles and adding in other descriptions and changing some of the content to make some progressive improvements. But this, I would say, this header isn't particularly working well for this site, as it's not ranking for team building activities. Or it could be there's so much competition in the index and they just don't have that much authority yet. I can analyze this site to look at their backlink profile and come up with the reasons for it. But basically, when you guys are building your sites and you're trying to rank for team building activities, you absolutely want to make sure that your header 1 is team building activities with its 1,000 to 10,000 search volume. So this is the great thing about Google Ads, the keyword plan. You can just keep plugging them in here and it will keep giving you the search volume. The only thing I don't like is it gives you the range. So, and it's the average monthly searches, which is why it's not, it's accurate, but it's not so accurate. It's not telling you exactly how many searches there were last month. It's the average over time. So, you know, that's quite a broad range, isn't it? 1,000 to 10,000. If you've got a keyword, you've got 5 keywords that are all 1,000 to 10,000. Well, which one of those 5 should you really be optimizing for your website? Maybe all of them if they're related, directly related, but if there's slightly different content, maybe not all 5. So there are other tools, again, I will show you to get more accurate information to assist you. Certainly this tool gives you some data to run off in terms of search volume. It does allow you to prioritize your keywords and which ones you're going to be using. So moving back to, so basically that's it in terms of starting to generate your keyword database. You want to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. So using WordStream, how many did they send us? I mean, that's pretty great, isn't it? 500 keywords of a search volume. Look, that's pretty amazing. So I'll probably say a lot of these are going to be relevant. You're going to want to go through and just be deleting ones that are not relevant to your business and clean this data up. But you want to rank it, and the good thing is they've ranked it in search volume order, so you know which ones you really want to be targeting. So just looking at these, if these are the only keywords that you have and you're confident you've covered and done significant amounts of research and it could possibly be any other keywords, you now can start formulating and generating your data sets and working out how you're going to use these keywords on your site. So highest volume you typically want to have on your homepage, because your homepage is always going to have the most authority. So in terms of your keywords, if you're running a team building business, on this page, your header 1 undoubtedly, keeping things basic, should be team building activities. And then on this page, you can be covering off other things down here, as I have done. Team building activities. What else have we got on there? Team building games, team building exercises. It's obviously all relevant. You can have synonyms in there. You can structure your keywords in a different order. You can do them in singular context or plurals. Compactors. That will bring in, because believe it or not, that does make a difference. Bring in all the more traffic. And hopefully this isn't getting too complex to you right now. So highest volume for your homepage, and then your other really high volume search volume keywords you want to have is your product and your service pages if they're not relevant to your homepage. So, I mean, you're going to want to have, for a team building business, team building exercises with its own landing page, and that'll be a top level page. So on your site, you will have team building exercises here, for example, and you click on it and it'll bring up its own page to do with team building exercises or activities, and you'd have a breakdown on this page. So all of your highest volume keywords are going to be your main top level pages of your website. So what you want to do is start breaking this data down. So I open up additional tabs at the bottom and I just put homepage, and then I'll put maybe service page 1 or product page 1, service page 2, and then I'm going to be putting in there whatever it is, team building events, team building exercises. There we go. And then you're just going to simply, so activities, team building game, I mean, all these are going to be relevant on the home page anyway. And then you're going to have pages designed specifically around this. So you can have all these keywords if they're related on your home page. Your header 1 will be your main targeting team building activities, and then your header 2, header 3, header 4 potentially would be these keywords with your paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4 of content underneath talking about that particular topic. And then you'd have a link, of course, referring through to these pages as individual pages. So what you're doing there is either your home page is going to rank for that keyword, or your landing page, service page, is going to rank for that keyword. And what happens is when Google comes on your website, crawls your home page, because that's where it will generally start, because that's where you have the most backlinks typically, it will then crawl that page, scan that page, find that link, follow through to your top level service page, which is on team building, and it will rank one of the two. What Google does now like is diversity. So we're trying to avoid ranking your homepage and your top level, another top level service page in the same results, because they like to have different businesses there, diversity in the results. And then as you're dropping down to lower search volumes, these are all good pages still to have for team building, covering off the content. Again, you need to make a judgment on which of these keywords are related. Make sure you copy and paste all of the keywords that are related topically to the relevant page, so that then when you build that page, you're using those keywords within that page's content, within the copy, the paragraphs, the headers, the meta title, description, etc., etc. And then as you come down to the lower volume keywords, you generally don't want to have top level pages for these. The search volume is just too low. Because the search volume is too low, the click-through rates, you know, if you had a 10% click-through rate, then you're going to get 4 visitors a month for this one here of a 40 monthly search volume. But you may want to generate a blog post, and you know, you can release blog posts regularly. They're generally going to sit as sub pages on your site in terms of the hierarchy. Over time, you know, you do 10 of these and you've got 100 monthly search volume. Do 100 and you have 1,000, you know, and you're building up your traffic. I appreciate this is going to take some time in terms of writing content, but this is where you can really make lots of inroads. So this one here, you can see straight away, it's got the same search volume as team building ideas for office staff, but the difference is in terms of what's being picked up in the index, the competition is low. So if you're trying to prioritize what content you're going to put out on your blog, on your website, you probably want to start with this one right here, because you're going to rank much easier, more so than the keywords that have more competition in the index. So this is where you can break it all down, look through high, medium, low in terms of competition, search volume, And this is what I do when I'm building a digital presence for one of our clients. I will prioritize, I will give them guidance on the keywords they should be using on their blog. I will structure their site appropriately in terms of the hierarchy, in terms of how they're displaying their content, what content they've got on what pages, what internal links there are. But once you get started, the fundamental takeaway is absolutely to do with keyword search volume and getting that right from day one. Because if you spend 10 years building a business website and you have used the wrong keywords and you're duplicating content all the time, it's very hard and takes a lot of time to unpick that. And sometimes I actually recommend you just start again if there's too many conflicts and too much what I call cannibalization, where you've got so many pages that will relate to, say, teamwork activities. And because they're all trying to rank for the same keyword, the pages are jumping in and out of the index all the time. So, today you have teamwork activities from one particular post appearing in the results. Tomorrow that will disappear and there'll be another one there. And they'll never really hit a very good spot or a good rank on page one of Google as a result. So it's very important you get your site structure and your keywords right from day one. So I hope those tools these free tools will help you in your journey to generating your data sets. You'll have 100, you have 1,000 keywords potentially by topic. Break those down by content for your blog, etc. And then you're going to want to break them out into short tail, long tail. But again, it comes down to search volume really, and also buying intent. You want to have your product and service pages optimized for keywords that are showing clear buying intent. So for me, for example, for my type of business, it would be SEO consultancies in Portsmouth, Hampshire, as opposed to someone searching for how do I rank my website, what are the latest SEO tips. All those are generally people looking for content so that they can do it themselves. So that would be the difference between service page and blog content. It doesn't have to be on your blog, but it shouldn't be a top level page. So top level pages would be these ones in your navigation bar, and your nav bar should always be in your header of your site. So no matter what page you're on, your nav bar never changes. Your nav bar is always there. So generally, in terms of your hierarchy, and I can actually open this up. Let's go to WordPress Structure. WordPress is quite good. Oh, I haven't got it on this one, have I? Hang on, sorry. It's on this one here. So let's come down through this guidance. So in terms of site structure, here we go. Homepage, top level category pages, and then we're moving into sub level pages. So your blog would typically sit here as another arch from your homepage. It would be linked, and it is, if you look at the Compact and Bow site, it is right here. Let's see. So it's a top level page, but then of course every blog post that you put out on here is going to be coming down, and it's going to be a sub page. So it doesn't take as much of your site's authority, but it still ranks, and you don't need as much authority for a keyword with a search volume of only 10. But your homepage that's targeting a keyword search volume of 50,000 a month, you absolutely need to have a lot of authority there. So this is where structure is quite important. But I didn't want to focus too much on that today. There's a lot of content online to help you with page hierarchy, but I am available to assist you and answer questions. So just to clarify, again, the tools. So you've got basic Google for brainstorming, autocomplete. Type in your keywords that you've brainstormed. You're assuming going to be good. It will give you lots of alternatives. Come in and look at the trend over time. You want to see a nice positive incline or one that's generally flat. So look at the trend. This will assist you again with identifying the highest volume, and make sure you're not optimizing your site for a keyword that's declining or a market that's in decline. That's all very good information. And then again, come on to Soovle, get lots of other ideas. I particularly love this because of all the answers that you get down the left hand side here to help for content marketing, to target those longer tail but lower volume keywords. They are generally speaking easier to rank for. And then again, you've got in here, if you're selling products, you've got information from Amazon, from eBay, from buy.com, Wikipedia, and then of course Google. So that's particularly good. And then WordStream, if you want 500 keywords straight away, you can use WordStream for this, or you can use our service at Digital Scientists. I will show it to you briefly. And then again, looking at your competition is very important, but absolutely do not copy your competitors. Do not come on the site, do not copy and paste their headers. It doesn't matter, of course, if you've got the same header, but just don't come in here and copy and paste Control-C, Control-V content, because Google's going to pick up the plagiarism and that'll be it. You just won't rank. You need to have unique content, and content is king, but when optimized in the right way. So in terms of what you're doing, keyword research first, then site hierarchy in your design and visualize how it looks and your page structure, then your content, then put in great content. And then again, keyword planner for Google AdWords. And again, Jonathan, I believe, is going to give you all of these links, and there will be a walkthrough to follow, because I appreciate I jump between things quite a lot. Now, I do want to cover, and I appreciate I don't have much time left, some of the fundamental tools you need for indexing your website. So Google Search Console is the number one you want to set up first and foremost. If you haven't set up Google Search Console, do it today. So you come onto Search Console, set up your account, and it will bring you through. What you'll first have to do, I've got lots of domains on here, is come down and click Add Property, and then put in your URL, your domain of your website, whatever it is, www.teambuilding.co.uk, whatever, and then it will ask you to prove you're the owner, and that will require you to go into the DNS settings of your domain and configure that. It's a 5-minute job. You can find lots of guides on how to do it. Search Console will actually give you the guide. It will ask you, is your domain hosted by GoDaddy, Wix, 123reg.com, whatever, and show you how to do that. Once you've done that and it's verified, it will start to show you this information. This information is vitally important. So when you first come onto the site, I'll show you the overview of how your site's performing at the moment, typical web search clicks, coverage of pages, so any issues with the pages itself, and then enhancements, schema, other enhancements. Mobile usability is important, showing which pages are most optimized for mobile use. So come into performance, and you will see the key metrics really for your site. Total clicks, total impressions. So impressions are how often your site is shown in the Google index and the results. Average click-through rate, and your average position. So over time, and again, you can click at the top here. Sorry, I should be talking this through. Click at the top here. You can change the search types. You can change from web to image to video. So to see your images on your website, how often they're clicked on in the Google results, how often your videos on your website are clicked on in the Google results. More often than not, websites aren't very well optimized for images and videos. People don't know to optimize them. I'll cover that on another session, on another blog post, and show you how to do that. So just keep in perhaps with my blog on my website and with what Jonathan's releasing. And so basically, start of the web, that's the most important. Change your period. So Virtual Ash has been running about 1.5 years. Very, very, very popular business in Portsmouth. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. Right. So last 16 months. So let's look at the trend. That's pretty clear, isn't it? Upward trends from when the site was first indexed and was only getting 100 impressions a day. We're now up to 1,000 impressions a day. So impressions come before clicks. If your site isn't in the Google index, isn't appearing in the Google results, then you're not going to be getting any clicks through. So clicks are always lower, although when you visualize them both together on the chart, the clicks overlap. You haven't got 800 clicks that day, but you can untick them like that and you can see again the trend. It's the impressions that are generally most important to begin with if you're just starting to build your website and get your business online. If you're doing things the right way, your impressions are going to be going up over time. Key understanding that over time. Don't look at this every day and think, oh, I've dropped today and it's just spiraled down to rock bottom, because things move around all the time. It will very likely recover. So very clear, business is growing online and doing very well for clicks and the average position. Don't pay too much attention to average position. It is important, but when you look at the keyword list down here, and by the way, this is how you can see what people are searching for for your business. So change that down the bottom to as much as your computer can handle, and it will show you all the keywords that are being put into Google to find your site and for the pages to index. So here's index on the right hand side, here's the clicks on the left hand side. So eyelash extension information, but we don't have a blog post up for that. So yeah, no one's clicked on that one because it wouldn't have been relevant in the results. But you can see here in order, oh, so much information here. And this is why Search Console is really important, because as you're building your site from your initial sets of keywords, you're going to start to see which of those keywords are actually the best, which ones are really working for your business. And this is what I always set up straight away for a customer if they haven't got it. And you can come in here and you can see which pages are most important as well. So Virtual Ashes gets a lot of people clicking through to book straight away on the website. And you can see the other pages that are popular. And countries is quite important, of course, if you're setting your website up. Compact and Bow used to rank. In fact, let's look at Compact and Bows. Compact and Bow used to really rank internationally, and we had to change that because they're only a national business, and we were getting inquiries from India and all over the world, which is great for search traffic, but not particularly good for your sales team answering those inquiries all the time. So again, search queries. Look at the total impressions as well. There we go. From when we first started, what you'll see here is when we started, they had literally no traffic at all. And we've got it up quite quickly. And there's a lot of work to do here, but their overall position is 23. But again, Compact and Bow's got it's 1,000 keywords on here. There'll actually be more than that. And a very healthy click-through rate. So that's in terms of the metrics, impressions, clicks, keywords that are actually being used, your popular pages, devices that I showed you earlier on. B2C is going to be very much mobile, dependent on the age group that you're targeting. B2B will probably still be very heavy on desktop, especially if it's corporate desktop, etc. So that's a key understanding when it comes to building your site.
James, just as a quick interruption,
sure.
we're got sort of 5 minutes.
Sure. Okay. Right. So I'll run this down now. No problem. Okay. So if you've got the new page that you built today and you want it to be indexed quickly and appear in the Google rankings, you come on here, you type in your domain and you type in your what we call the URL slug. That's the second part here, which always needs to be keyword specific. Hit enter and it will do a little search and it will tell you, there we are, it's going to retrieve the information from Google Index, tell you if the page is currently in the index and if it's ranking. And if not, you can ask them to crawl the page. And this is the quickest way to get your site on Google, as well as submitting a sitemap. Okay, well, what will normally happen is I've got the URL wrong there, is it'll bring up a little window and it will say found but not currently in the index, and then you click crawl, request crawl, and it will crawl the page. You'll put it into a queue and Google will crawl the page. Once it's crawled it, it will then start appearing in the Google index, and that's the quickest way to get your new page in the index and ranking, as well as going to sitemap. You can go into your sitemaps. But what I will do is cover this. This is quite in depth here, this tool, but get this set up first and foremost. So it starts capturing the information to do with the number of searches, clicks, telling you what the queries are, what the search phrases are, keywords used are, and then that's all information that will help you continue building your website. So let's just go over to my slides. So there are other tools. I appreciate I've run out of time, but Jonathan has a guide that I've sent him and he's developing for your workbook as well. So if you look at that guide and you follow that through, that will take you through the other fundamental SEO tools to use that really help you start indexing your site and working on your rankings. But that's pretty much it. If you do want to skip most of this process that you've seen today, you can use our own SEO tool. It's called Seo Laboratory. It's on our website. For all of our customers at Digital Scientists, you get a free access to this system. We set you up your profile, all of your keywords, all of your search volumes, outline which pages those keywords can be used on. You can log in and you can use the keyword research tool. So if we were using team building as an example, you type that in, you can see instantaneous results, search volume broken down per month, 1.5K. similar keywords, 2,475 similar keywords, related keywords, 2,266, and then lower search volume keywords, 30,000. So, and then the top index competitors across the UK. And score in terms of difficulty. So you can use this tool very quickly and easily. Unfortunately, it's not free. It's for our customers that use us for consultation, training, etc. But I'm quite happy to pull on using this tool in support. If you have any questions, send me over an email, and I'll see what I can do to help you out within reason. There is a lot more functionality on here, a bit more advanced, looking at your backlinks, directory citations, but you can come on, as I showed you earlier on, and you can look at, these are just a few of the projects, look at the keywords and see how you're ranking for your homepage, see how you're ranking for your product service pages, sub pages, and it will give you your ranking updates every single day. So 2nd of September, looking at virtual lashes as an example. Let's go to the homepage. So you can see the daily changes, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, etc. So excellent tool for monitoring how you're doing in terms of making changes to your site. And that's basically it. Questions? Fire away.